Hi, it's Wilma, and this is Wilma's Cross Stitch, a floss tube all about stitching. Welcome. And this is floss tube number 10. Glad to see you here, both those who are new and those who are returning. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about fully finishes. We're going to talk about finishes, what I've been stitching, haul, and a little bit about Christmas. So let's get going. I'm going to start with fully finishes. So you've seen this project before. It is the Christmas Tiny Town, but I made a little adjustment to it. You've seen it with just the design flat finish, but you haven't seen it with the red behind it. And I just thought an extra piece behind it would just make it look that much nicer. So all I have to do now is I've got magnets on the board. All I have to do is get some washers and it will be done. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. And I used beautiful beige 14 count Aida on this and called for colors, and I'm very happy with it. So the next few finishes I have, I'll show you the charts first. Heart and Hand, Nativity. Then we have Nativity Frills, the Wise Men, and then Shepherd Frill. So let me show you how I finished these. I did the Tiny Town a little bit differently than the Christmas Tiny Town. And this, I did it as a pillow with a back finish. And I just added some jute that gave the feeling of the stable. I'm not sure if I'll keep it or if I'll change it slightly, but that's how I did that part. And then for the Wise Men and the shepherds, I had these frames and they just fit perfectly. And normally I would do pillows. I do pillows a lot. But I just thought for the display where I could put the tiny Nativity, Tiny Town in the center and put each of these on the side, that it would it would be a nice look. And here's the shepherd. And all of these were done on 14 count gray Aida. Not the called for color, not the called for fabric, but what I chose to do as I'm an Aida stitcher. So those are those. So the next thing I did was Crocetteagogo. All the rest are pillows. And I like doing a back finish because I just find that the front of the pillow, it sits nicer. And my hand stitching isn't as good. So I just like to do it that way. So this is Crocetteagogo, one of her nativity scenes. I think she's done 5 over the last 5 years. She's done just a little different take on the nativity scene. So there you go. And this is, I do a back finish. And I know some people just take a piece of fabric for the back finish and then put a slit in it. And I used to do that. But then I saw a video, many years ago, I think it was from Vonna Pfeiffer, where she took 2 pieces. She cut the back fabric into 2 pieces. And then you just sew with the machine this far. Then you leave an opening and then you sew it the rest. And I just find it's much easier to stitch the fabric together when you do it that way. So here you go. I might add some trim eventually, and I have to finish the back, but I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. And it's also done on 14 count pewter gray, and Crocetteagogo, her called for colors are DMC. So I'm pleased with that one too. I'm pleased with all of them. So the next 3, let me pull them out. They're all Brenda Gervais pillows. And let's start with this one. This was done on 14 count beautiful beige, a little darker than my 14 count lamb's wool that I like using. And this is Burr. And so, yeah, I might put some white chenille around it. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it could use a little something extra. And this is, I'll put out now, but it's especially, I want it on display in the winter months, in January and February. So there's that one. Then I have Joy and Good Cheer. with also a back finish, which I'll have to fix. And we'll see what if I do anything with trim. I usually just do basic pillows, but I've been thinking maybe I should try some things with chenille and rickrack and stuff like that. So we'll see. But these are good enough for display for now, and I could always add something to them. Now here's the third one I did, and I did do this a little bit differently. I was doing a lot of finishing yesterday, and I was watching YouTube and watching Flosstube tutorials. So I was watching Lindsay from Primrose Cottage, and I kind of did something similar to what she did. So I used 2 pieces of fabric, and that turned out quite well. It's a little bit more work for me because, yeah, I'm not a big sewer. So, and cross stitch is so much easier than the finishing part. But anyway, I did the same thing where I took 2 pieces of fabric and I sewed them together, and there was a slit in the middle here that I sewed up. But then Lindsay had this idea, and I thought, oh, this is great, where you take a piece of felt and you use pinking shears, then you take another piece of fabric and you pink and shear that too. Then you take these 2 pieces and you sew them together because there's a line right there, square line there. Then after that's done, you take that piece, you put it on top of this pillow, and then with needle and thread, you attach it. You could do like a whip stitch or whatever, but she did a straight stitch, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that too. So I just did a straight stitch in the same color around the white. And yeah, it looks great. In the past, I've glued felt on, but I kind of like this idea of sewing it on. So I probably will do that again. So it worked out quite well. And with pinking shears, your fabric doesn't really ravel. So this is a great idea. Thanks, Lindsay. So I'm quite pleased with it. And maybe I'll do more of these. And what I like about having the fabric here is that because then your design is a little heightened in your display, so that you could put something underneath it too, another pillow, mini pillows or something underneath. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this finish worked out. And I've got lots of fully finishes to do because yes, I love doing the cross stitching, but I find the fully finishing so much work. And no professional finishers around here in my neck of the woods in Canada. And besides, it's not cheap to do it. I'd rather spend the money on cross-stitch fabric, floss, and chart. So there you go. So those are my finishes. And yeah, I spent all day yesterday doing that. It was a lot of work. But anyway, I'm quite pleased with how they turned out. And I have to do more of them to get more of my stuff done and out of the bin from the to be finished pile. So one of the things I finished this week, we're going to go on to just finishes now. I only got one thing finished because, yeah, I'm working on all big projects. So I got this ornament finished, and I had showed it to you last week, partially done. So it's going to be a circular finish. I like the design. I'm just not sure about the black and red lettering. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to be doing this as a circular finish. And I use sticky boards from Fat Quarter. And I'll just take one out here. These are 3.5, and they fit perfectly for the Stitching with a Housewife designs. So that's what I'll do. Use one circular disc for the design. Then I'll take a bigger one and I'll put quilting fabric on it. Then I'll attach the 2 together and put a hanger on it. I know Stitching with a Housewife also suggests you use 2 bigger ones so that you can put an additional one on the back so you don't see the fabrics. It's nicely finished. So like here are 2 circular things I did before, and this is just the quilting portion. So like that, and then you just sew them up together. And here's this one too. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And I have lots of circular ornaments that need to be finished. So hopefully next week, that's what I can concentrate. I can concentrate on the circular finishes. But getting back to this chart. this design. Let me show you the chart. It was a PDF. I got it as a PDF. Angels we have heard on high. It is black and white. The lettering is black and red, and I wasn't so certain about. I'm not sure if I really like that or not. But so this one I already did, was done on 14 count white Aida. Now I have some 14 count ice blue. So I thought I would try using that color for the same project. I'm doing ornaments for a few friends here in town. And I thought I would use Classic Colorworks Deep Blue C. Try that for the lettering. And do the angel like it's called for with the green and the yellow, and see how I like it. And then I can decide if I'm going to go back to the black and white or if I'm going to change it to the blue lettering. But anyway, that is my finish that I got done. And here's a bag from someone a bag I bought at a retreat I went to recently. It's a very cute bag. Perfect for this time of year. So there's that. Got that done. So now on to what I've been stitching that hasn't been finished yet. Let's start with the stitch along from Tiny Modernist, which I've talked about before. But if you're new here, Tiny Modernist, a designer, Canadian designer, has a mystery stitch along, Christmas stitch along, Ho 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 Christmas 2025, and you can purchase the design on her website as a PDF. And this is how far we are. So we've done how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 4 more weeks to go. So, like I've said, and I'm doing it on 14 count pewter gray. And I'm using the called for colors, which is Weeks Dye Works, and I think 1 or 2 DMC colors. And what I've said all along is, I'm not keeping up. I got too many projects. If I can't get all of it done, I try and do the border, and then I can go back to it and finish the inside of the border when I have time. So it's a very sweet design, and I am enjoying doing it. So there's that one. And that's the one stitch along that I'm keeping up somewhat with. So there's that. Then the next thing I'm doing, this is another stitch along, and this is just some Flosstubers decided they wanted to work on this Brenda Gervais design, and I had started it in July, and because I have so many projects, I had put it aside. So I thought, since there was a stitch along, this is a great opportunity for me to get back into it. So here it is. Peace and Goodwill by Brenda Gervais, and she is one of my favorite designers. As you've seen today, I had a number of finishes from her, and I have a few designs from her that I'm working on. So not so keen on the gold house. And I saw one of the other Flosstubers who's part of this stitch along, who changed her house to this color, and I think that's going to work nicely because the roof is caper, whereas this is the house. This is the color of the house. It's gold, and I just think the red house will look nicer on my fabric. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. And this is what I got done this week on it. I'll show you the whole thing in a minute, but I worked on finishing the wreath. So that's looking really good. I haven't done the inner part of the bird because I'm just deciding on if I'm going to finish it the same way as the pattern or not. And here's the whole thing. This one might be one that I might actually be able to get finished. Yeah. And it's being done also on 14 count beautiful beige. I often use beautiful beige or lamb's wool Aida for my choices because they're a nice neutral color. So there's that second stitch along that I'm doing. So next, what am I working on? I am working on Santa Stops Here, another Brenda Gervais design. And here's the bag. Oh, and here's this bag. This one's not so impressive. I did this myself and made it into like a project envelope. I'm not good with zippers, so yeah, that's the best I can do on that. So, okay, let's look at the chart first. And I started this also in Jolly July, and I did the border in July, basically. And now I've been working on it over the last little while. And it's the one I think I'm enjoying the most, actually. I left a needle in there. Oh, dear. Okay, so let me just show you close up. I've been working on Santa and the tree and getting nice progress. Yeah, Santa's just, it maybe look a little weird the way part of his garment is stitched, but it's because all the rest is fill in. And then I'm working on the tree and the candy canes. And yeah, oops, my nose is itchy. Why does that always happen when we're doing a floss tube? So anyway, that is done on, I believe this has been done on 14 count lamb's wool, not the called for fabric. Very seldom use the called for fabric since I'm not a linen stitcher anymore. So there's that one. So the last one that I've been working on, I'm going to have to open it up, zipper, sorry. So this is one from the Jingle Ball. And if you want to know more about the Jingle Ball, you can just Google Lindy Stitches. She's the one who's organizing it. It's like an online event, an online retreat that's happening the beginning of December. So I bought a ticket to go to the retreat, and then you can buy a class tickets too, which is an additional cost. You can just go to stitching rooms and stitch with other people through Zoom calls and stuff. And I think it's Zoom calls. And there's also a shopping hall from all the different designers. And there's many designers there. So, but I decided to do two of Stacey Nash's designs. So I'm doing ginger. And there's also a gingerbread. I haven't started that at all, but I'm doing ginger. And my nose is itchy. Sorry. And this is Ginger's head. Ginger started, and it's being done on Peppermint Sparkle Ada 14 count. So yeah, so I'm getting a start on that. Still a lot to do, but it's a start. It's a start. So there you go, and that's for the beginning of December. So we'll see how that goes. So next, I would like to show you my haul. I got a cross-stitch organizing book with stickers. Let me show you the stickers first. They're the stickers. It's from My Crazy Life, and in Canada, this book is sold by Evertote. And it is, it's a traditional book. It has some extra stuff in it. So here are what the calendar pages look like. There. Then you have, for each month, you have an additional set of pages. Like one side is just little dots, so for journaling. And the other side is some lines. And each of the boxes say Sal's, Challenges, and Finishes. So you have that for the whole year. Then you go towards the back. You have, if you want to do Whip Go, there's pages for Whip Go. And then there's pages for whips, new starts, and plans. I'll use that for sure since I have so many whips. And then there's just some blank pages. And then at the end of the book, there's a number of pages to help you organize if you're going to a retreat. So I am going to try. I've never tried this organizer before, so I wanted to try it because it's very, the monthly pages are very similar to other cross-stitch organizing planners. But I wanted something a little bit more with some additional pages so I could keep everything together. My daily stitching and what my whips are and my starts are and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And I will report as 2026 goes on how I'm liking that planner. So that's all the haul I bought this week. Another thing I wanted to just talk about was a stitch along that I'm starting. And what I really like about this stitch along, it is they're going to do it over 24 months. So it's GH 1857, and it's a reproduction design from Simone de Jong van Wezen, and she's from Soedidee. And I especially like that because I'm Dutch background, and I had started this about 2 years ago for my birthday start on linen, but I just put it aside. It just wasn't working for me. I didn't like the fabric. So now I've started it on Aida, and I decided there's a stitch along going on with Sean Periwinkle and a few others. So I thought I'd join in, and I decided to restart it. And I am going to do it on an Aida, and I have a 16 count lamb's wool Aida that I've decided to use, and the start is very small. I don't even know if you can call it a start actually, but anyway, it is 5 stitches, and I'm going to do a few more of the colors to make sure that the fabric color will work for me, but then yeah, I'll be joining them. It already started in November, and to be perfectly honest, I will not be doing that much stitching on it until the end of the year. But I thought I'd just start a little bit, and then I'll start working on it again and do a little bit every month. And the great thing is there's a Facebook group, and in there there's a picture of the design, and they've broken it down into 24 months to help us with what section we should be stitching and how much we should be stitching so that we can get it done in 24 months. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I especially like it since it's a Dutch sampler. And I think what I'm going to do, let me see if I can find the picture. Can I show you that? Yeah, I think I can. I can show you this. So there's the picture of how Simone reproduced it. And at the top, it talks about there's a circular thing, and it says 14 for 14 years old and the person's initials. And I'm going to check. I had an oma, a grandmother from Holland, who she was born in the 1800s. So I'm going to find out what year she was born. I have a book from our family that says that, and I'm going to check and see. And I think I might change the initials because Soedidee does give us initials that we can change, and I might just change it and put in my grandmother's initials and the year she was born, or something like that. Put my grandmother's initials and then put some other years in. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing it. It's fun to do. For me, it's fun to do Dutch samplers since that's my heritage. So, and I'll just show you what the colors are that are being used. Here they are. Blue's my favorite color, so this is very nice. Lots of blue in it and some lighter colors like straw, and then there's some tarragon for the green. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to stitching this. And especially since it's going to be over a 24 month. And I've got it in this bag. So that's that. And if you want to know more about it, just go to 1857 on Facebook and you can see more about it. You might want to join if you have the chart or you want the chart. So that is all my stitching. I thought I'd just talk a little bit about Christmas. Yeah, here at our house, my husband and me have a tree upstairs with a traditional Christmas tree with the traditional bells and balls and stuff. And then I have another tree downstairs where my craft room is. and it's a pencil Christmas tree, so it's nice and narrow. And that's where I put all my handmade designs on. So I have to pull out all my ornaments that I finished in the past and put them on the tree and see if there's some new ones I have to finish so I can put them on. And so that's what I'm basically doing, getting ready for Christmas. I've got some decorations out, but I got more to do, and I love putting them out early because the season is so short, and that way I can really enjoy seeing all the stitching stuff. I do keep the tree up all year round in the basement, so I could keep the Christmas ornaments up all the time. And then I also decided to change my sewing box where I have my needles and my scissors and all that kind of stuff in. So I found this tin in my stash. So I decided to take out my stuff from my other box and put it in here. So I have a nice Christmas stitching box to enjoy. And it can sit on the side table next to my chair in the living room. And it just looks like a nice decoration. So there you go. I thought I'd just share that with you. So what am I going to be up to in the next week? Well, I am going to be working on those circular ornaments. I'd like to get a bunch of them done. And I'll be sure to show those to you next week. And what else? Is there anything else? Oh, yes, I was going to talk about in the beginning of December. I am going to do 12 days of Christmas from the 1st to the 12th. Yeah, I might be a little crazy, but I thought I would try that. And I'm going to share things that are special to me for Christmas. There's some special treats that we enjoy having here at this household that are also part of my Dutch tradition. So I will do something along that line. I think I'm going to share 12 Canadian designers that I like and showcase one of their charts. But I'm also going to do another section where I'm going to just show 12 designers, not necessarily Canadian, but others in like US and overseas ones I like. And I'm going to share probably my 12 favorite cross-stitch projects that I have finished that are special to me. So, the videos are only going to be like 5-10 minutes, but just a little snapshot about Christmas. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Hopefully I'll stay sane in that process of recording and uploading and stuff like that. But anyway, just want to say thank you for coming. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would consider liking it and subscribing to it. So it has been so good to be here with you, friends, and hope to be back soon, probably a week. I like doing weekly videos, that way I can keep them somewhat short and it makes the uploading a little bit easier. So anyway, thank you for stopping by and happy stitching, and until next time, bye.